There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
All right, I'm on there. Welcome and good morning. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. And guess what? You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Welcome everyone to CSL Midtown. We're coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. And we are so glad that you have joined us today. We welcome all people, no matter who you are or where you are in your life. We welcome those who are listening online, either live now or on a recording. And of course, we welcome all the people that are here in the room, live. It's so nice to see everybody. Thank you for coming. This is our once a month celebration where we meet in person, and we have some very special people here today that are going to speak to us. We'll be talking about that later. Our center, obviously, reflects the beautiful, diverse tapestry of life that is everywhere present. So we welcome you, whoever you are and whatever brought you here today. Know that you are an individual expression of the divine life in which we all live. And know that if you are here listening to this now, or you're here in this room, that you are in your perfect place right now, today. We hope that those who are watching online share this with their friends. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, share it with your friends. We really appreciate that. For a better understanding of who we are and what we teach, listen now to our Declaration of Principles as written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful,
hey. Great. I think they used a little AI to put in like Ernest Holmes' voice. That's pretty cool, huh? That's the age we're living in, folks. Anyway, my name is Judy Ailey, and I'm the moderator for today's service. And you know, during the month of October, we've been looking at concepts about power. And we're going to continue with that today. But now I would like to introduce our practitioner for today, Mya Fyller. Mya is a fabulous practitioner and friend. She is a board member, and she and I work together to lead our center's practitioner group. And we also work together to coordinate the fabulous speakers that we hear each week at our center. She also coordinates the adult study group that we have each morning at 10 a.m. before the service. So it's an understatement to say that she is an important part of our spiritual community. Mya Fyller, turn it over to you now.
Oh, thank you, Judy. How sweet was that? How sweet was that? Greetings, CSL Midtown members and friends. Guess what? We are 23 days away from the 2024 US presidential election. And as normally happens during the election season, there's a lot of talk out there about the importance of voting. And it's easy to think about voting as just something you check off the to-do list as part of your civic duty. But today, I'm here to tell you that something radical, and that is that voting is not just a political act, it is a spiritual act. In fact, it's one of the most profound ways we can express our God-given power. In the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes reminds us that there is a power for good in the universe, and we must realize that this power flows through us. Holmes knew that the creative power of the universe is not something that exists outside of us. It's in us, working through us. It's waiting for us to direct it. If we're honest with ourselves, a lot of the time we forget that. We think of power as something other people have, the politicians, the CEOs, the big decision makers. But no, that same power that animates the universe is alive in you and in me. The questions are, how are we using it? And what does that actually look like in practice? And how does this tie into the election? Well, we can make our mark in the upcoming election by doing what's in our power to do: voting, encouraging others to vote, speaking truth with compassion and grace. Imagine just for a moment what could happen if every single one of us made the decision to use our power for good. Imagine if we all voted not from a space of fear or frustration, but out of love, out of a deep conviction that we are here to co-create a world that works for everyone. When we vote from that space of spiritual authority, we don't just change policies, we shift the very energy of the nation. If you would like spiritual support in doing just that, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, uncertain, or fearful about what's happening in the world, in our country right now, I invite you to connect with a spiritually supportive project called My Election Intention, which is a peace and goodness initiative sponsored by our neighboring center, the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. This initiative helps people channel their energy of peace, love, and divine power into the voting process and beyond. You can find more information on how to join on their website. And again, that's Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, My Election Intention. So I encourage you, let's use our inherent power for good to spread the word, encourage others, and stand together as a force for positive change. Because here's the bottom line. Voting is not separate from our spiritual practice. It is part of it. Just like prayer, meditation, and affirmations, voting is a way to express your divine nature in the world. It's a declaration that you're here, you matter, you're willing to stand up for what you believe in. So as we prepare for this election in 23 days, I encourage you to stand in the truth that you are an individualized expression of the divine. Remember that you are powerful beyond measure. Whether it's casting a vote, having a conversation with someone, or simply holding space in your heart, you have the ability to make a difference. So let me leave you with this. When you step into that voting booth, remember, you are not alone. You are bringing the full force of your spiritual authority with you. You are aligning your will with the divine will. And together, we can co-create a world where peace, goodness, and democracy truly prevail. So let's go out there and vote, not just with our hands, but with our hearts, our souls, and our full spiritual power. Thank you. So the juicy part of it all, where we all now align our hearts and our minds with the spirit of that talk in whatever way is meaningful for us individually. So let's center ourselves. in the awareness of the divine presence. I invite you to take a deep breath, to get comfortable in your seat, and allow yourself to feel fully present in this sacred moment. As we turn within, let's affirm the truth of who we are. I know and declare that there is one infinite presence, one source, one power, one love that flows through all creation. This presence is the very essence of life itself, always available, always present, always expressing itself through each and every one of us. It is the creative power of the universe moving in and through all things, including this very moment. I recognize that this divine power resides in each of us. We're not separate from it. We are individualized expressions of the infinite. The same intelligence that governs the stars, that moves the oceans, that breathes life into every living being is right here within us, ready to guide, uplift, and heal. So right here and right now, I speak my word for each person in this congregation, knowing that we are fully tapped into this God-given power. I affirm that we're releasing any doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs that would keep us from fully stepping into our personal power. We let go of the small thinking, the idea that we're somehow less than, or that we don't have what it takes. And instead, we embrace the truth that we are powerful beyond measure. We are vessels of the divine, capable of great healing, great love, and great transformation. And I declare that we now use this power consciously. We use it to heal our own hearts, to restore our minds to peace, and to bring forth greater joy in our lives. We use this power to uplift others, to be a presence of compassion and love in this world. We know that this personal power is not just for us, it's for the greater good of all. Our actions, decisions, and our presence are guided by spirit, and we move through life with confidence and grace, knowing that we are fully supported by the universe. I give thanks for this truth, knowing that as we embrace it, our lives are transformed. So the deep gratitude for this knowing, I release the word into the law, trusting completely in its perfect unfolding. And so it is. Amen. Now, our music.
I close my eyes, I open my heart, I'll take a deep breath, let the healing start. I lift my hands, I plant my feet, I let love in, I feel the beat that's calling us to rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. My soul, I clear my mind, I'm here and now, in present time, I feel the power of 1,000 suns, lighting up the dark. Oh, we rise as one. Rise, in me. Oh, oh, rise, rise, Spirit, rise up, rise in me, rise in me. Heart to heart, hand in hand, no turning back, onward to promised land. Do you feel the power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark? Oh, we rise as one. Love's calling, calling out your name. Love's calling. That's why we came. Love's calling, calling out the name. Love's calling. It's why we came. Come on and rise, rise, Spirit, rise up, rise in me. Rise, come on and rise. Oh, Spirit, rise up, rise in me. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Come on and rise up. Come on, lift your hands up, jump, reach for the sky, going up high, higher, yeah. Rise up. Come on, raise your voice and shout. Love is alive, we're bringing the light brighter, brighter. Rise up. Come on, lift your hands up, jump, reach for the sky, going up high, higher, yeah. Rise up. Come on, raise your voice and shout. Love is alive, we're bringing the light brighter, brighter. Rise up. Come on and rise up.
Okay. Wow, what a song. Thank you, Mya, for your wise words and a beautiful treatment. Well, this morning I am so pleased to introduce our speaker. We are pleased to welcome Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson back to CSL Midtown. He has spoken for us numerous times, but today we are so pleased that the planets have aligned and that he's here in person. It all worked out. Here he is. Yeah. Hey. He has traveled to us from Delaware. He is many things. He's an educator, a visual artist, a performer, a sign language interpreter, an author, and so much more. He is an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister and serves as the founding minister and the spiritual director of the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, which is a center for spiritual living, teaching center. Please join me in welcoming back to our center, Dr. Raymont Anderson. All right, here we go.
How about now? Oh, I hear me now. So, should I repeat it? No. So when we talk about this idea of personal power, how do you utilize it? Meister Eckhart said, between me and God, there is no between. So when we are referencing power, technically what we're talking about is God. So rather than power to the people, not even to them, because power as the people, they are demonstrating their magnificence, their divinity, their divine sovereignty. Power through the people showed in how people serve one another, how we become 21st century New Thought Good Samaritans. Because power isn't simply some word of jargon that we use, and oftentimes that's what we end up doing. And there's a point where, for the sake of conversation, linguistic convenience, it's shorthand. But if we're going to really utilize it and a world that works for all, then we have to be very clear on what we're talking about. Any Sister Act fans in the room? Oh, so we do Sister Act, but not the... Okay, I see how we roll. So Sister Act, several different characters. Do you recall, let's start with Sister Mary Robert. Remember who that is? It's the quiet, shy one. Sister Mary Patrick, the louder one. Sister Mary Lazarus, the very strict one, right? So here you have, there's the choir of nuns. And Whoopi Goldberg's character, Dolores Van Cartier, is teaching them to make use of their voice, their power. And one nun singing loud, like loud. The other one barely singing at all. So she asked this one, in order for there to be balance, turn yours not down, but so that it is working in harmony with the entire collective. Turn yours up, which means you have to recognize that you have the power. You have this voice that you yourself are turning down. You are not letting it express. Alice Walker said, the simplest and easiest way that people acquiesce, give up, surrender their power is by saying they don't have it in the first place. What did I say? Power, for the sake of our conversation, power is what? God. The easiest way for people to distance themselves, lack and scarcity, put themselves in a state of consciousness, a mental equivalent of, why should I vote? My vote's not going to matter. I'm only one person. You say, what now? One person. How many people did Mother Teresa help as one person? How many people did Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King when he, as one person? Rosa Parks, one person. Malcolm X, one person. We have many examples of Yeshua, Jesus, one person. We have many examples of how one person, one single individual, and the dominoes moved and the ripples went. So we understand. If I were to ask you, name a vocalist that you really like every time you listen to this person, like goosebumps. Name somebody. Tina Turner. Tina Turner, as one single individual, can we even fathom the number of people in audiences around the world from way back when she was still with Ike? From then, like we can go way back. How many people have been inspired by? And not even just her singing, right? Like, because I remember when people were like, Tina Turner's how old? Look at those calves. This one single woman has inspired millions. Not just by singing, because see, we may go into that state of, yeah, but if I could sing like Tina Turner, I would be able to. Yeah. See, that doesn't matter. George Lucas, one filmmaker. And now, where we are with film and television now, almost everything that comes through Hollywood has his thumbprint on it, because almost everything comes through industrial lights and magic in some way, shape, or form. Some technology, something. Walt Disney around the world. We have many examples of how a single person can move and shift consciousness. Let's go back to Dolores Van Cartier. Here comes this nightclub singer, this lounge singer, because she witnesses her boyfriend Vince do something he shouldn't have done. Boom, she's got to go. She's got to hide. She's got to, be protected, witness protection. So what better way to witness protection someone who's a lounge singer than put her into a convent? And there's where she has no business being here, and there's that whole thing. But she finds her space. She finds the place where, if I'm going to be here, how do I be me here? She starts to impact the nuns. Remember that one night she snuck out to go to the club, to the bar, the biker bar across the way, and the two nuns followed her. And they get in there, and she's like, "What are y'all doing here? We thought you came here to feed the people, to tend to the souls of the people. And so we followed you." She wanted to get away and go get a drink and whatever, listen to the jukebox. But they were so inspired by her that they believed she was going to, which in fact is what she ended up doing. Just not the way that was the traditional idea of. See, when we step into our personal power, it is recognizing between me and God, there is no between. And as Dr. Holmes said, whatever is true about God is true about you. Never forget that. And that the only God we would truly know and understand, etc., is the one that we embody. So anytime we talk about God as an anthropomorphic something, somewhere I'll find God, somewhere. As long as we're going to do that with spirit, rather than, wait a minute, right here, slide number 2. That which the divine is right here, right where I am. So what does it mean for you to be responsible and accountable for the power you steward? How do you show up as the divine? Because see, it's not just about, well, when I show up, it's Ray. Yes, but Ray as an individualized expression of God. God is all there is. Between me and God, there is no between. So when I'm walking through Piedmont Park yesterday, God is walking through Piedmont Park yesterday, seeing God in all its various, diverse colors, shades, sizes, textures, and all. And when I recognize that, it changes how I interact. So then my hello is never simply a hello. My happy pride is never simply a happy pride, because the words and the energy that come through that, the word made flesh, and that word was God, and that word was with God, and that word, if that is the word, the energy moving through a simple hello, then doesn't that have the ability to transform and heal? If we know the story of Jesus minding his business, Jesus going shopping or something, Jesus going, and he's walking, and the woman's over there is like, wait a minute. Is that Jesus? I've been having this pain in my back for quite some time. I need to go talk to him. My primary care physician told me to go see him. So, and she's doing her thing to try to get through and get over there, and she can't quite get to him, but she gets close enough to touch the hem of his garment, and she was healed. And then he was like, whoa, I felt it move. Who touched me? Who touched me? Am I it? Is it time to go hide? Right? But he felt it. But she touched him, and it healed. The centurion is like, yo, so can you? No, I don't have to go back and do anything with your servant, because simply this conversation and your recognition of this heals. So what if our hello, our good morning, our whatever it is, when we're in the Trader Joe's line and we're checking out, and we don't just see the cashier, but we see who is incarnating as the cashier. We see what is incarnating as the cashier, and we speak to that. Namaste, that which is the divine in, through, and as me sees and recognizes itself in you, and it must bow before its own magnificence, because God knows what God is. What if that was the energy we were bringing to anything that we're doing, everything that we're doing? Next slide, please. I'm not even going to ask y'all if y'all know what, because y'all didn't already say. Sister Act, yes. Spider-Man, no. There's a scene in one of the Spider-Man films where Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, is like, I'm done. I'm done being Spider-Man. He takes off his garment and throws it away. Throwing it away, does that make him any less Spider-Man? No. It simply means he is no longer wearing that garment. There are so many ways that we live, move, and have our beingness where we think that by throwing, by abdicating, by whatever away, that we are no longer showing up as the divine. We can't not be it. No matter how dim we try to turn our light, this little light of mine, there is nothing small about the light of God. So let's not even say this little light of mine. I understand linguistic convenience. Yes, yes. We sing the song. Yes, and that's fine. But what about if as I'm singing the song, I am recognizing and saying, this great light of mine, I must let it shine. This great light of mine, I must let it shine. What if that is the awareness that we are anchored in as we are moving through life? What does that now change in how we, a world that works for all? So when we take power off as a jargon term, we can say things like, me standing in my power means I recognize and acknowledge my divinity. It means I recognize and acknowledge that that which love is, loves me, loves as me, loves through me, and therefore it must be expressed towards you. Even when there is animosity, I don't have to give venom for venom because I understand what I am. And if I really understand what I am, doesn't it call me to a different level of stewardship? If Maya and I get into an argument for whatever reason, you ate that last slice of pizza that was mine. We get into an argument and I'm saying, but I understand this teaching. I know what it means. I know that prayer isn't simply something I do, but prayer is what I am. What are we arguing about? Something about my human feelings felt slighted, insulted, something. Do I not want to then say, well, let me address what is going on in me so that the next time we stand face to face, the me that she sees, the me that is communicating is not the same me that she argued with, that argued with her last time. That's stewarding my power. And it's giving her the space to steward her power differently. Because if I show up differently, she may as well. And in that space, there is now the catalytic possibility of transformation, change, healing. And now we talk about peace on earth, goodwill towards all. It's not going to happen if it's not here and here and here. So when we say power, let's be clear. When we say abundance, let's be clear. Because you can have an abundance of bills that you don't want. You can have an abundance of aches and pains. My ankle bone's connected to my shin bone, and both of them hurt. Ow. Right? Like we can have an abundance of things we don't want. So when we acknowledge, declare, affirm, whatever it is, what shifts and changes when we say, right here and right now, what I'm acknowledging is that health and well-being, my wholeness, my perfection, and my completeness are the divine expression of what God is as me. And that abundance overflows to such a degree that I drink from my saucer because my cup runneth over. That degree of clarity changes. Because now when Dr. Bob says, Ray, what do you want prayer regarding? And I am very clear. He's like, oh, got it. Versus if I leave it vague and I'm looking for love. Well, you've been looking for love in all the wrong places. When you say you're looking for love, what do you mean? Because I can take you down and get you a new pet, and the dog will love you unconditionally, which is why dog spelled one way is God spelled the other. Love unconditionally. Is that what you want? Well, no. What I want is romance. Then why didn't you say that in the first place? clarity. That is how we fine-tune our power. Because what did Faith sing? The power of 1,000 suns. But the moment we get that magnifying glass and it fine-tunes it into that laser, ooh, the amazing things that it can do. That welding, woof, that laser. Are we living, moving, and having our beingness with that level of fine-tuned precision? In general, no. And that's fine. Because there are days when, and the thing is, oftentimes we will say things like, we forget our divinity. We forget. No, we don't. We don't. Just like right now, if I were to ask you, in your kitchen, do you have a refrigerator? Yes. Is it right here with you? No. But once you go back to your house or your apartment, you have access to it. You know it's there. That which God is right where you are. And even when in the forefront of your mind right now, you are wanting to give that person who had just cut you off on 85, you want to give them that magic finger right here and right now, you are forgetting, you are not acknowledging, you are not standing in your divine power. You are standing in the power of the collective consciousness that says, this is how I treat people who do not use their turn signals. Ha! And there's the magic Harry Potter finger. Right? In that moment, it's not where you are, but 3 miles down the road, you get a chance to breathe. You get a chance to anchor back in. I'm like, oh, wow, I really shouldn't have. Breathe and come back to that space of, I know. I allowed, for whatever reason, I allowed that to get to me, and I responded and reacted from a place of whatever, ego, fear, could be any number of things, and breathe and choose. Now, what do I want to do? Now, what do I want to feel? Now, embodying it to the degree that says, when next, because I know it's going to happen, sooner or later, somebody going to drive in front of us, and they ain't going to use their turn signal. They swerving across the line. Thank you, Atlanta traffic. Like, I know it's going to happen. So if you know it's going to happen, are you already tapping into your divine power to such a degree that you're already prepared for in advance? It's like spiritual first aid. Are you already skilled in CPR? Are you already skilled in they're experiencing shock and I know what to do? Are you already experienced and already anchored in that awareness so that when it happens, when you're online and someone says something that you don't agree with, you don't like, or that they're pushing your buttons, like Ram Dass said, we think we're enlightened, right? But the moment we go home, because our family, they know us very well, and they know which buttons. Let's see, this week, Tasha and Ray. Let's see, let's do a 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. There, Tasha's angry, and let's make Ray stomp his way out of the house. That's a 792. 792. Ugh! Our people, our families, our friends, they know us well enough to know how to trigger us. But if we are anchoring into our power to such a degree, we're like, they think they know what they're doing. We got rid of the keypad. We got an eye scan and biometric stuff. They don't know nothing about that. So the next time we show up at the family reunion, they're like, where are the numbers? Upgrade, spiritual upgrade. I'm good. That's our invitation to move into that space. But it means we have to do the work. And not work as I've been working on. I'm talking about practice. I'm talking about the kind of work that Lynn did whenever Lynn started to become the master painter that she is now. That took work. Work meaning practice. Practice meaning training. Training meaning the thing that leads to mastery. Wax on, wax off. Are we willing to do the work? Willing to do the work with the hope and expectation that in many instances we may never need to use it. Right? Like CPR. No one says, I learned CPR. I can't wait till someone falls over dead so I can. No one, I pray that no one actually has that as their intention. The intention is, I'm learning this with the hope that I never have to use it. So are we willing to pause and breathe and check in and say, what does it mean for me to be aware of my divine power? What does it mean for me to not only be aware of it, but to make use of it? Because see, if Barbara and I go down the street and we go, the corner market, and we played the Powerball and we won $330-something million. But then Lee says, well, Barbara, Ray, you can never spend it. You said, what now? Then what point? Well, why have it? Think for a moment and let it sink in. You are a divine incarnation expression of God. It doesn't get any more powerful than that. Breathe that in and realize, wait a minute. That means Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, Yeshua, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Paramahansa Yogananda, like I don't care who you name whoever you name, and realize that you, one and the same. Because there is only one power and only one presence. Next slide, please. And recognizing that there is only one power and only one presence, then what does that mean? There is only one mind. That mind is God. Not that mind is God's mind. I know that that's one of our translations, but technically there is only one mind and that mind is God. There is only one life and that life is God. And that mind is your mind now. That life is your life now. And when we really understand what oneness means, then we move into, instead of simply an identity, we move into a we-dentity. Because now one person inspires, and then one center inspires, and then one neighborhood inspires, and then one city inspires, and one state makes a move, and then one country. And then what do we have? A world that works for all. But it takes wax on, wax off. How many of you remember the Karate Kid? You remember the Karate Kid? Okay, Mr. Miyagi's got him wax car, and paint the fence, and sand the floor. And Daniel's like, I'm done. And Mr. Miyagi's like, well, let's come back tomorrow, do more work. He's like, I don't want to, you've been making me, and Mr. Miyagi's like, whoosh. What? And Mr. Miyagi says, show me, wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. And then he goes through paint the fence, sand the floor, right? And he goes through, and then Mr. Miyagi stands back and he goes, ha, ha, ha. And Daniel's like, pop, 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 pop. What? I know karate. It's the same thing when we practice and when we train ourselves, when we embody. There is only one mind, and that mind is your mind right now. There is only one life, and that life is your life right now. There is only one, and what it is showing up in, through, and as all that there is. And when I am willing to say, I acknowledge and recognize that truth, and I live by that principle, then everything I do becomes spiritual practice. Everything. Because the moment Connie knows that she is God fully, from the top of her head to the soles of her feet, from the surface of her skin to every quantum particle, molecular structure, all of it, then when Connie pulls out a marker, magic happens, right? And it changes things. It's our opportunity to truly be what we say we desire to have and experience. We want a world that works for all? Be it. That's how we demonstrate our personal power. So it is.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Raymont. So, with that awesome talk of us being God, I'm here to ask you to participate. If you're in the room, there's a basket in the back. You can put real donations in. There will be a QR code, or you can go to cslmidtown.org/donate and give us your donations. You can do a one-time donation. You can set up ongoing donations. We are here to support you in that. So if you will, say with me our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. I'm going to turn it back over to Judy. And while we're doing that, I'm going to set the Zoom up. We'll switch around so that we can get the Zoom people on. We can have a Q&A with Raymont. And yeah, I'll let Judy tell the rest of the announcements.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Ray. That was fabulous talk. Such a special gift that you are here today in person. Well, we have a few announcements. I think there's a slide with some information, but next week, starting back next week, we'll be back online. And our speaker is Reverend Cynthia Paulson. We're all in this together. So talking about power as we come together. We have our discussion group at 10 a.m. every Sunday. Please join us on Zoom. We're studying and reading together the Science of Mind textbook. How powerful is that? So thank you again so much for coming. We are going to have a little discussion here now and followed by a potluck. And so whether you were able to bring food or not, you are invited to join us. There's always going to be plenty of food. So does this wrap it up? Oh, we have to do the final affirmation. Let's join together in the affirmation of life. All right, here we go. I leave this place now, knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me, and so it is. All right, so let's see what happens next. I think there's like a little music here at the end.
It is done. Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey! Oh yeah. Grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. So grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am so grateful. Hey, grateful. I'll just count my blessings. Grateful. I just count my blessings.
There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it.